When something is accessible, it's easy to reach and simple to use. For educational materials to be accessible to as many students as possible, the information needs to be delivered in a variety of ways. In other videos, we explored how print materials can be improved and made accessible. For digital materials, those that are used electronically, we need to look closely at how they're created and what technology is used to deliver them to the user. Some people think that just because materials are digital, they are automatically accessible, but that is definitely not true. Navigating the world of accessible digital learning materials can be challenging, but there are plenty of resources available to help. Welcome to Simply Said, Understanding Accessibility in Digital Learning Materials. Inspired by commoncraft.com. To understand how digital materials can be made accessible and usable by people with a wide range of abilities and needs, we should think about two things: the content and how the materials are delivered to the user. The content is the information contained in the digital materials, and it has to be designed from the beginning to be flexible and deliverable in different ways. The delivery system is the technology that a person uses to display and interact with the content. For materials to be accessible, the flexible digital content must work with technologies that are well matched to the abilities and needs of the user. But what happens when technology and content do not work together? For a long time, technology developers have tried to be sure that as many people as possible can use the devices they are developing. There are a variety of technology options available. Some technology is designed for general use, and some for a specific need. There are many features that help make technology accessible, including enlarging text, text-to-speech, keyboard shortcuts, changing font styles and color schemes, navigation options, and more. It's exciting that content developers are creating highly engaging, interactive, dynamic digital content. That's what we all want. But unless that fabulous new content is carefully designed from the beginning, it will not be accessible, and everyone who needs it may not be able to use it. It's up to us to create demand for content that can be used by everyone, so that the publishers and developers will work hard to produce it. There are technical standards that can be used by publishers and web designers to increase accessibility of their products and make content available to more users. That's great for developers and techies, but what do those things mean to the rest of us? Let's take a closer look at WCAG. WCAG stands for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines that have been developed by the WC3 Accessibility Initiative. There are 4 principles that guide the creation of accessible digital content, and developers should be asking themselves these 4 questions along the way. Number 1, is the content perceivable? Number 2, is the content operable? Number 3, is it understandable? And 4, is the content robust? Let's take a closer look at all 4 principles. If the material is perceivable, that means that the user can take the information in a way that works for them, whether it's through sight, sound, or touch. A person may not be able to read with their eyes, but they can read through touch or sound. The term operable relates to how the user navigates their way through the content, the way they interact with the information. For example, a user who is writing could use word prediction or dictation, or an on-screen keyboard. When material is understandable, that means the content is structured in a logical, predictable way that includes learning supports that can be used by everyone. And when learning supports like glossaries, spell checkers, highlighters, sentence starters are designed into digital materials, they can benefit all learners. Finally, we need to think about what makes materials robust. Robust content can be used on many different devices and can interact with many different types of assistive technology. For example, if a material meets the robust standard, a student could read the content both at school and at home using different devices. From the beginning of the design and development process, it has been tested for device and software compatibility. It takes careful attention by writers, developers, and publishers at all stages of design and development to produce digital material that is perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Not all content is created this way, and many digital materials are not developed according to these 4 principles. But the good news is you can help change that. How can you help increase demand so that more accessible digital materials are available for all users? You can start by learning about the PALM initiative at the National Center on Accessible Instructional Materials. PALM stands for Purchase Accessible Learning Materials. PALM is designed to provide developers, purchasers, and others a way to learn more about the benefits of accessibility and learning materials, the features that increase accessibility, and what we all can do to increase the demand for and availability of accessible digital materials. It's true that we may not understand all the acronyms and jargon the developers use, but now we know a little more about what the 4 WCAG standards of accessibility mean. Everyone can get involved. Anyone can spread the word about accessibility in digital materials. You will definitely want to share this information with the people you know who are responsible for purchasing learning materials. If they know the benefits of accessible materials and what to ask for, they'll be able to work with content developers and publishers to ensure that products they produce are truly accessible. Want to know more? There are plenty of resources available to help. Together, we can and will make a difference. To learn more, click on the PALM logo on the AIM Center's homepage at aim.cast.org. This has been Understanding Accessibility in Digital Learning Materials, brought to you by the Pacer Center, in collaboration with the National Center on Accessible Instructional Materials, where help is always available.